Hi, in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you with your weight management. I work with a number of people who come in for support with weight loss. And one thing that's very common to a lot of those clients is that they are on this kind of cycle of being on a diet and feeling motivated and doing well and losing the weight, and then kind of falling off the path and overeating and going back down, putting the weight on, beating themselves up for it, and back on the diet again. And they're on this kind of constant seesaw between dieting and not dieting, feeling good, feeling bad. So, what I do is work with them to help them to be motivated and stick to their goals, but also to help them to really see the bigger picture of what their relationship with food is, what their attitude towards food is, so that we can start to retrain their brain to have a much healthier approach to eating, which will help them to keep the weight off in the long run and avoid this sort of seesawing cycle. So, I'm going to give you 3 tips now, and these are some of the first things I share with my clients. So, tip number 1 is to keep a food diary. And when I say keep a food diary, what I don't mean is writing down the food you're eating and how many calories there are or how much fat or whatever it is. What I mean is to write down the food you're eating, but also the time of day you're eating it, the situation you're in when you're eating, and also the emotion you're feeling before you eat the food. So, for example, if you're sitting down watching TV in the evening and you're feeling a bit bored and you reach for a pack of crisps, you'd write down in your food diary, evening, watching TV, feeling bored, pack of crisps. And you keep this food diary up for, I would suggest, 3 weeks. And tip number 2 is then to have a look through this food diary and start to notice the common themes. So what are those situations or emotions where you're reaching for the food? So is it you notice that actually I often eat when I'm bored, I often eat when I'm stressed, I eat when people bring food into work and it's there, whatever it may be. But really try and pick up those common themes and what that emotion is that's key to those different situations. And then what you can do is start to come up with an action plan for how you can alleviate those triggers. So, for example, if you're aware that you often eat when you're stressed, you can put together a list of things you can do to help yourself relieve stress to avoid the eating. If you often eat when you're bored, it's the same thing. Oh, I've got a list of things I can do. I'll go for a walk, I'll do the ironing, whatever it may be. And tip number 3 is to eat mindfully. And by that, what I mean is to use all of your senses to really enjoy your food. So when you first have the food on your plate, you look at the food and you really take in exactly how it looks, the different colours, the shapes, the textures, how the light's hitting the food. Really spend some time on it. If it's food you're eating with your hands, you can pick it up and really get a sense of how the food feels. And then you bring the food to your nose and you take a smell and you notice what aromas there are. Notice if you can see different or smell different aromas, and really take all of that in. So you've spent some time relating to the food before you've even taken a mouthful. Then when you take a mouthful, you put it into your mouth and you notice what the textures are, what the flavors are, and you're chewing really slowly and really paying attention to all of those flavors. And then when you swallow your food, you take a break for a few seconds, and then you go through the same thing again. And so what this is helping you do is it's helping you, first of all, to eat more slowly, which means that you'll notice much more when you're full. But eating slowly also helps you digest much better. So often when we're distracted and we're busy and we're running around doing other things while we're eating, our digestion doesn't work as effectively as it should. So it helps with your digestion. And it also just generally improves the connection between mind and body and your relationship to food. So you start to understand, I'm only eating because I'm feeling this, or I'm only eating because of that. So it's really improving how you view your eating. And also what it does is it really enables you to actually enjoy your food. So very often if we eat while we're doing something, we're at work and we're having a sandwich or we're chatting to people or whatever else, we're not even enjoying what we're eating. And you want to be able to enjoy food. So this also gives you that time to really focus on the food you're eating and actually enjoy it. So they're my top 3 tips. Keep a food diary. work out from that diary what your situational or emotional triggers are and start to come up with an alternative plan to relieve those. And step 3 is to eat mindfully with all your senses. So good luck. I hope it goes well, and do get in touch if you'd like some more support. Thank you.